What are the typical questions that you can expect to be asked during an interview for a UX writing position? In this video, we're going to dive into that and more. My name is Josh, and I have over 10 years of experience in technical writing and UX writing. I'm also the founder of Technical Writer HQ. And this video is for UX writers who are preparing for an interview. But before we dive into that, take a moment to subscribe to our channel so you can get lots of information about how to become a better UX writer. And let's go ahead and get started now. Before you jump into the interview for a UX writer role, you need to know the definition for these three concepts in case you're asked. Otherwise, you'll get sent right out the door. These concepts are UX, UX design, and UX writing. First is, what is UX? Well, UX stands for user experience. And when we say user experience, we're referring to how people interact with the product. In the digital design world, UX refers to everything that affects a user's interaction with a digital product. User experience is about what users think and feel, and also depends on the context in which the product is used. Now, what is UX design? In simple terms, UX design is a process of creating products that are practical and usable. UX requires a deep understanding of the user, their needs, wants, behaviors, and the context in which they'll use a product. The ability to empathize and understand the needs of users is critical for UX designers and therefore UX writers. The ultimate goal of UX design is to make products that are usable and useful for users and for your business. Now, moving on, what is UX writing? Well, UX writing is a subdiscipline within UX design. Like UX design, the purpose of UX writing is to enhance the user experience. And the simple way to put it is that UX writing is writing for the user. It enhances their user experience by helping users understand how to use and navigate products and solve problems. UX writing is part of the overall product design. And UX writers, along with product managers, also participate in creating content strategy. They might use collaborative design tools like Figma to write, plan, and comment directly in designs. Examples of UX writing includes instructions, error messages, mobile app notifications, chatbot screen messages, form fields, buttons, and menu text. Now, if you can answer those questions correctly, it's important you set expectations on what the interview process entails. Because if you just go into the interview with understanding the answers to the questions, it doesn't necessarily mean that you'll have a good experience. So the first thing that you need to do is really get the basics right, which is prepare your resume and portfolio. Read the job description carefully and over and again, as the questions will likely revolve around it. And it's going to be different for each company and each job description. You may or may not be able to answer questions in the best way, but if you get the basics wrong, as we discussed, then no amount of interview skills can really help you land a job. Unless you are the CEO's relative, of course. Now, we know that's probably not the case. So what you want to do is next, treat it as a learning experience. Rather than getting stressed out, treat the interview process as something where you could take some valuable lessons from. And if you don't get the job, you'll learn many things that will help you in other interviews and in your career. And even many things that come in handy when, let's say down the line, you'll be conducting interviews and maybe you'll be hiring a UX writer to join your team. And you want to make sure that the job is right for you. Just as the interviewers are trying to figure out if you are the person they need, an interview is also an opportunity for you to learn about the company, its people, culture, and all the other factors that make up an organization. At times, we can get too focused on one thing and miss the big picture and wind up in a job we don't like. For example, if a job advertisement mentions a particularly high salary, then it's possible to get totally focused on that one aspect and then ignore all the other important factors of what makes a great job. So use the opportunity to learn about the company, including their team, personality, and expectations so that you can make an informed decision. And when it comes to questions, focus on understanding the question intent. Every question has an intent, a question behind the question. If you understand the question intent, only then can you give a good answer. And of course, you need to self-review. Just as an interview is an opportunity for you to learn about the company, it's also an opportunity for you to learn about yourself. After each interview, ask yourself these questions. What did I do right? Some things will come to mind when you ask this question. And these are your strong points. They can be improved, but maybe it's better to focus on your weak points. So you should also ask what needs improvement. And it's up to you to work on these weak points so that you can give better interviews in the future. Now let's move on to more UX writer interview questions. The first one, tell me about your UX writing journey. The interviewer wants to get to know you, and this is an open-ended question that you can use to your advantage. In your answer, you can include your reasons for choosing UX writing as a career, relevant qualifications and certifications, details of projects from your past experience that closely relate with the position that you're interviewing for and their impact. Also, challenges that you faced and how you overcame them. And also, don't make the answer too short so that your lack of experience becomes evident. And don't make it too long so that the interviewer regrets asking a question. Now, question number 2, why should we hire a UX writer? When you go in for an interview, be ready for unexpected questions. And this question is one that you may not expect. To answer this question, reframe it in your mind as, why should we hire you? When you reframe the question, then it's easy to see that it's an opportunity for you to sell yourself. How? By sharing your knowledge of the company and its products and showing how your knowledge and experience can contribute to UX writing, UX design, and product design at the company. This means you need to do your research ahead of time. If you know the industry jargon and the company's products, that's a huge advantage. Question number 3, what are your favorite examples of good UX writing? The question intent is, what is your understanding of elements of user experience writing? And it's likely that you wouldn't be carrying your favorite UX writing samples with you. But you will have your portfolio with you, and you can use it to demonstrate understanding of user needs and how your UX writing satisfied those needs, understanding of business goals, and how your UX writing helped to achieve those goals. This question is an opportunity for you to demonstrate your thought process for the creation of good UX content. And this question is also an opportunity for you to demonstrate your ability to critically analyze UX writing. The best answers will reference examples related to their industry and how they can be applied to their company. For example, referencing Stripe's UX writing examples when interviewing at a fintech company will help you get the job at a fintech company. And question number 4, how do you work in a collaborative role? This question can be reframed as, what is your working experience with UX team designers, UX researchers, content strategists, and UX managers? The interviewer wants to know whether you understand the collaborative nature of UX writing and the process you use to deal with challenging situations and people, possibly subject matter experts who you're trying to get a hold of and they're not responding to you and you just need a better detail of what you're writing about. And you can answer by sharing details of your personal experiences and roles at other companies, specific challenges that arose and how you successfully dealt with those challenges. To add even more credibility, you can also share your experience in the use of digital collaborative design tools like Figma and Adobe XD, and your understanding of the software development cycle, agile development process, and Scrum. Because in some companies, the UX writer is going to be involved within Scrum meetings and deeply involved in the agile development process. It really depends on the company you're working with. Now for the 5th question, how do you write by keeping both the user's and organization's goals in mind? The interviewer wants to know whether you understand that UX writing has dual goals: satisfy user needs and help with the achievement of business goals. To answer this question, you can share the processes that you use to understand user needs, such as user research, user testing, and user feedback. Your process for understanding business goals that you would normally get to know through your collaboration with product managers and marketing. And from here, select a sample from your UX writing portfolio and demonstrate how it achieved both of these goals. Now, question 6, how can you improve our product? The answer to this question depends on how well you know the company and its product or products. Often they'll even ask about a specific feature. They did this when I interviewed with Facebook, and they asked me about their email feature, something I was not prepared to answer, but I made sure to be very transparent in my knowledge about other features. And the lesson here is do your research prior to the interview with all their different features if you can, and get to know the company as well as possible. Then based on your knowledge of the company or previous UX writing experience, you can select a product and demonstrate with specific details how you could change or improve the existing microcopy. UX writing is part of UX design, and based on your understanding of the field, you can also suggest improvements not only in UX writing, but also to the UX design and even the product design. And question number 7, do you have any knowledge about user data, A/B testing, and card sorting? Well, user data, A/B testing, and card sorting are user research methods, and experienced UX writers won't have any trouble answering such questions. Experienced UX writers can share examples from their personal experiences, and such examples include insights into which methods worked best for them and the context involved with those methods and experiences. Inexperienced UX writers, on the other hand, won't be able to share those examples. And for them, instead, it's essential to have at least an understanding of these concepts and other user research methods, because user research is such an important part. And you can also just talk about your experience of getting in touch with subject matter experts, questions that you usually prepare, how you go ahead and put together surveys. There's lots of good methodologies and answers here. And the big thing here is to prepare well with your strategy foundation before the interview. And there you have it. We went over the typical questions that you can expect to be asked during an interview for a UX writing position. And thank you for watching and sticking with us all the way to the end. Again, my name is Josh. I'm the founder of Technical Writer HQ. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to go ahead and like it, subscribe to our channel for more UX writing content and technical writing content. And I'll go ahead and see you on some of our following videos. Cheers.